So it's time for the part 2 of the reaction to the off-script Filmmakers Roundtable by the Hollywood Reporter India with Anupama Chopra. What an amazing lineup. If you haven't seen part 1 of this reaction, check it out here. If you haven't seen the full interview, check it out on the Hollywood Reporter India channel. I'll put the link to the description below. This is not a substitute for that. It's a reaction. I'll be pausing in the middle talking. So keep that in mind. Without any delay, let's get into part 2. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's available for the members. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. Enjoy early access videos as well as some exclusive videos and song reactions. To know more, click on the join button below. Let's begin.
Hindi cinema is going through a massive situation. We must talk about it.
Yeah.
It's very important that we know that we in Hindi cinema
Talk about
firstly, we have a very
Like I did a that kind of actually did really well. I talked about that Kriti Sanon video. See, I never kind of put a blame on just want to make troll someone. That's not the case at all. She's just she's an actress. Her job is to act, take the money and go home. I totally understand that if she feels her movies have done great and she doesn't understand what's really happening in the industry, which there are sources, there are facts, there are people who understand the industry talk about the trade, everything, that it's not going great. That's what I meant in that video. Nothing, no shade on her.
polarizing audience. Our audience through states and within states, through areas of that state. Like in Bombay, if you just say Bombay, is Mumbai, Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Karnataka is all part of the same terrain, right? We call it the Mumbai territory. Delhi is Delhi, UP, Punjab, which is also Delhi NCR and goes into Gurgaon. So now what will work in Bombay right up to Juhu may not work from beyond Juhu.
Yeah.
And this has all happened post-pandemic. Let me tell you, there was a certain film.
That kind of sharp division.
There was a film like Pink, and there was Neerja, and there was Kapoor and Sons.
And they all worked.
There was Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara that began this very multiplex, or that did over 90 crores of business. NBOC, when it started, all the trade pundits were like, this film is not going to make any money. Because it's about three people on a journey of finding themselves. That to a commercial audience seems like it's unheard of, and it did way beyond. It had a cast, but that kind of film today, I'm not sure how much money that film will do. I don't know what Kapoor and Sons did 72 crores. Today it might do 35, 40 because that base has reduced. What is the cinema going audience of a certain kind of film has shrunk. In Hindi it is true. And yet, you are either underperforming or overperforming.
Yeah.
That middle road cinema is completely vanishing, which is maybe because it's not happening enough. And that is what is happening. Like any film you take, and it's no longer about the stars, let me tell you.
It's not, because Karan, you have films
are working.
Darling, if you see Lapata Ladies, what a fantastic film.
Yeah.
It did
It didn't
18
do.
to 20 crores, NBOC.
It didn't do well.
And it's a massive hit on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, it's big. But those people who are loving it on Netflix never came to watch it at the theaters.
But they did go for 12th fail. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying
again,
there are
12th fail, again, 12th fail has a certain texture that is very commercial and
but
rooted.
so is Lapata Ladies.
No, but Lapata had a very, very sensitive.
It's got a
nuance
fable,
it had that.
quality.
Now, 12th fail is that one film that actually went back to the good old pre-pandemic days where that kind of high content film and high concept content film actually went and did. 12th fail would have done 80 crores, I want to tell you. It went at 50, 55 today. It would have done, and I'm only talking now.
Very interesting. I like these numbers and analytics and all of that. It's fun to hear.
Numbers to tell you the maths of what's going on.
I understand.
But doesn't that have something to do with how much a ticket is costing? And
Yes.
Yep.
So
in our
again,
That's
so back
true.
to it's all come back to
Okay, I have a video in the pipeline for a long time now. I shot it a month back or something. It's in the rating phase, almost ready. I just have to do final touches and it should be out on the main channel. But yeah, it's about the theater and the system and all of that. So do look out for that.
back to the fact that when I spoke to Ajay Vijli, and I've done a deep dive because I'm a producer and we run a production house, and I'm also looking at numbers. I'm like, what's going on here? And they're saying that there used to be film and cricket that used to be the two massive sources of entertainment. Post-pandemic, everybody wants the experience. Travel has increased, hospitality has increased, and people, the average family in India does their math and say, they used to watch 6 to 8 films a year, now they're watching 2.
Yeah.
So suddenly, if it's a must-go-to film and they've seen the film before, like what happened with THRI, Horror comedy
Franchise,
is the
yeah.
most popular genre across Hindi cinema. I can't say the others. Horror
We have like big franchise.
horror comedy
I think
is
Tamil
the
started
number
that.
one.
Yeah, actually, that was
Horror comedy is the number one genre. Now we have grown to realize this. Okay, Sri didn't even realize that it's going to go and become. It's going to possibly be in archived history. Then it possibly will be, and it's still collecting. It's touching 500. It might be the number one collecting Hindi language film, and it
Wow.
doesn't scream a
It has, by the way, right now. It has touched 600 crore, which is the highest grossing Hindi film ever to happen. So, like, who would have thought? Man, I never thought. I thought they'll end 450, maximum 500 they'll touch, but they have touched 600 just net box office in Hindi in India, not adding everything else they made, you know.
And the budget is 100 crores. You know, it is not crazy. It's
Six
not
times.
spent 300 and 400. And look at the mass. And it's a heartland business of that film. It's crazy, but it's also cities are collecting. Heartland is collecting. It's a rooted film. So now everybody is like, it's rooted content. It's not that you can't tell urban stories. Of course you can. But then all the actors who are charging what they charge for the big multiverse film, and they have to look at the way, and everybody has to come and make a film together and make it happen. We must tell all kinds of stories. And Hindi cinema is craving for all kinds of content. And
I just on my Hindi channel made a video about Khel Khel Mein, the Akshay Kumar movie, which is actually a good film. I just got a chance to catch it in theaters. It's still running, by the way, just one show a day, but still going on. But it's actually a good film. It's actually well made, good performances, good writing. Has some social messages and kind of seriousness also, but good comedy humor written well. And it didn't do well. It's a flop. Why? Because the budget is so much. Why? It doesn't need that budget. The film has made 50 plus crores, which is great for it if the budget was very low. Because the film did, but why the budget is 100 crores? I don't get it. That's the reason it's a flop, not because the film is not great.
must be told. But the thing is that those movies don't do the numbers and they collapse. And then you're not like getting the ability to make that film and no longer that we've seen that superstars are no longer a reason for a film to open in
Karan,
Hindi.
they've got openings of 2 and 3 crores. I mean, this is Akshay Kumar's film, this is Ajay Devgan's film. But you and I have been talking about superstar salaries for
I've been on the 12th roundtable about how
That's
everybody
true.
has to look at their remuneration levels and they have to address, and I'm saying it for the 55th time.
But they are not going to look.
I've been screaming. I've been
Karan, you just have to stop paying.
We are not.
Yep.
You have to stop
I'm not
paying. That's
No, actually speaking from
That's good. Don't pay. Just don't pay them. Move on to the next one. There are a lot of talent.
Actually, I don't
Malayalam
pay anymore. I've said thank you very much. I cannot pay you. Bye.
Are you doing that?
Yes,
You should do.
I am not paying anyone if they are not. If what is your last couple of films?
Correct. What's the
How
opening?
much have you opened to?
Yeah.
With what right are you asking me for this number? What and if you see any film, all of us recently, every film. I produced a small film called Kill. I spent the money on that film because I was a high concept with a rank newcomer at the face of it. Because I started doing it. I'm like, I'm not going to, because every star we went to, because that was a high concept action film. You could not make Kill in any other way because it had to be in that train. Every star asked me for the same money that the budget was for. I was like, how can I pay you when the budget is 40 crores? You asking for 40 crores. Are you guaranteeing me that the film will do 120 crores? It's not, there's no guarantee, right? So I did. So finally I took a new boy.
And it was such a good film.
And he was an outsider. I have to say it. And I have to address and call
Okay, kudos to him. Where it's due.
it out for myself, because otherwise I've been paying the consequences for this all my life. And I'm like, but nobody has praised me, I want to tell you,
We're
for launching
praising
a
you.
film.
It was a lovely film.
Who was an outsider and not from an inside family, which I've been accused of from time immemorial. But anyway, I'm just saying that we have to, and I think like Zoya will tell you, that Zoya has been creating some of the best contents films. I think both Zoya and Farhan very importantly changed the language of films.
Yeah.
Farhan did it in Dil Chahta Hai, and Zoya went on and did it with her stream of films. We need to see those films as well. We need to tell those stories that are about, about diverse subjects with interesting syntaxes. I mean, that's the problem. Now everybody's like, oh, your film is not rooted, it's not mainstream commercial, it will not do the numbers, don't make it. How can you stop making films? You have to tell all kinds of stories. Today I met Shakun Batra, who directed Kapoor and Sons. He's traumatized because he's like, what do I do? How do I make a film that's going to get like the business and box office? I'm like, you do you.
Yeah.
You make what you need to. We'll make it work.
That's true.
So is this idea of you do you? How it?
See, when you're saying that
This is
the
fun
film-
because everyone wants to add in, chip in, their thoughts. Like most roundtables, what happen, everyone is quiet, just waiting for others to speak and all of that. This is fun. I'm enjoying this.
could have made 80, now it's made 55. 55 is a super number.
Yes.
Big hit. So
Yeah.
I think we need to make those films within the budget and hold and bite the bullet for a while until the things change. Instead of saying that, no, we can't make this film. We will make the film within the budget where you break even there. Like right now, break even, little bit of money is enough. And yes, rooted content, if it's from the world, from the people, then the resonance is more. And those kind of contents get more audiences. At the same time, we cannot say that this is the budget, this is the numbers, so we will not do it.
And don't make the film eventually. That's not good.
We should be doing those films and work on the numbers again and again.
Rework the numbers.
And you don't, and you
make
should
sure
not
that-
be dependent on movie stardom or perceived movie stardom.
Yeah.
Like what is movie stardom eventually? Eventually, that is only questionable
Here,
today.
like coming back to Malayalam, what is happening? The good thing is actually anything which is conventional is not working.
Yeah.
Anything,
Yes,
like
yes.
any format film which is like, let it be action, let it be thriller, let it be like sci-fi or even
This is interesting.
horror, even as horror comedy or any kind of stuff, which is on the conventional line, which is not that is not working. People look at it and say that okay, we have seen this. What is new in that?
Yeah.
Such a unique problem to have. It's a great thing.
So
That's why I think we are getting such diverse things, from
that
the
USP,
industry.
is that what you? So initially, I thought just before, like during COVID times, we thought, okay, Rishikesh Mukherjee kind of films, those are the films which are going to work. Nowadays, no, those films are for OTT. Seriously for OTT, because like I'm seriously. It's not about the way you tell the story. It's about the kind of like the way you make it, like the language. Like you've seen many words which are thrown in West, called like what to say, like meta films and the other names and everything. Like it's not, it's the same story, but it's a language. People know the difference
storytelling.
between these languages, and what these platforms are catering. Platforms have all these like templates. Like if you watch constantly on a Netflix, like the templates are all same. Even the color palette, the sound design, everything has got a similar kind of a texture. Even the plot points are similar. So here, anything on theatrical, collective view, they need some kind of a new experience.
I think the thing is their business model, what they want OTT platforms is that you stick to the platform. You keep coming back and we just keep serving you. And they want you to just play a movie and just do your work, and they don't care if you watch it. They're not catering to cinema or experiences. They're caring for your time pass. You spend the money, you keep renewing your subscription every month, you keep paying them. That's what they want. If you still pay them, you don't watch anything, they don't mind. So their idea of what they want out of a film is very different than what a film has to do in theater. Theater, you need to give an experience, a moment. Someone is paying that much money, come in the theater to experience and have something which will make them, worth their money and time. They are not coming there in a theater to just sit and do other stuff. There's no other stuff. You're just watching it. So, the priority of what you want from cinema is different.
So that USP is what people are trying. Any story can be retold. Like as Karan mentioned about Zoya's film was a game changer. Your film actually changed. Vetri's film actually changed. Your film, like films were changing. Those times films were changing. Those kind of new changes has to be there.
You have to keep that change going.
But you cannot ever get anything new if you go by an algorithm. You will never have a breakout artist. You will never have a breakout idea. And the thing is, like I genuinely believe the theatre is going nowhere. Okay, it's going nowhere.
Never.
It is a community experience. We love our films. If we learn how to make them in a particular budget, as he says, we have to recalibrate this pay scales, and we tell we have to tell all kinds of stories. Everybody cannot start making horror comedy. Everybody cannot start making
And you'll be
nudist
surprised
films.
that's what's going to start happening.
No, but we cannot.
There'll be
Because
50 more that will be sanctioned.
we are the largest filmmaking nation
That's
in the
true.
world, and we have to tell all kinds of stories.
Absolutely.
And we are a diverse nation. We have to represent everybody in our films. But I believe that even the source of income and revenue to the film industry, there will be a new one. Every every decade, there is a new flush of money that comes in from a new source, and it will come again. Even these OTT will go, and there will be a new flush of
even
money.
Hollywood discovered
It
this
will
truth
happen.
much before when they started giving all the massive movie stars that are on tentpole, superhero, big franchise films. They've all been younger, newer actors right at the beginning. They were empowered by the studios to give them these big films. That's what has to start happening today. You've got to take new actors, younger actors, and you can tie them in contractually that this is the franchise you work on. You can't do another film of the similar nature, and you can do that, and that's fine. But you have to empower younger, newer actors, and that can only happen when you put the money behind them and make those big films and create more actors. We have only
That's true, right? Marvel, when they casted Robert Downey Jr., he was not a great name of big selling, person, all of that. He was coming from kind of a rehab thing and was not getting a lot of work. Like even Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, like all these people who are now big stars in Hollywood. Like Robert Downey Jr. is biggest, superstar right now. If you see, they were actually made by the films. They didn't make those films. I think that's the big difference.
if you just by the numbers, for viability, you'll have 6 names or 7 names, and then you're stuck because you want to make 500 movies. How do you do that with only those many actors? So you have to increase the pie, and that can only happen if you put your money where your mouth is.
And also recut the pie, because if your above the line talent is taking that much, you have so much less to make the film in. Your technical crew, which needs to be top of the line if you want them to. And people to stay in those fields and aspire to remain in those fields, you have to pay people. It's a big commitment when you're working on a movie. So all the money can't get drained in one area.
And I hate it when, when it happens in our industry a lot, that you get so upset to pay a cinematographer or an editor top dollar, but you want to pay an actor who's not assuring you when you open.
It's almost
and I'm like, this editor is magical.
No, it's
he or
almost
she
like
can change the game of your narrative, but you will not want to pay them.
70% of the films budget is going into actors.
Depend on hero.
That is what is happening.
And and we are all filmmakers that respect our crew, and you respect what a cinematographer, a sound designer, as an editor, a costume designer, everyone brings to the final palette of your film, but you don't want to pay them.
No, but you can structure it in a way that if the film makes money, you make money.
Sure.
You just
That's what big Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir, that's what they do. They don't take money up front. Most of them, they kind of produce their own films most of the times, but if they are not, they'll take the cut from the money the film makes. In that case, if the film makes a lot of money, you actually make a lot of money. Like that's how they do it, and that's why they are their films are more sustainable than people who just want to take a lot of money, like Akshay Kumar, and whatever the film's case is, he has taken the money.
have to learn, we just have to figure it out. And I come back to the theatre. People can't afford to go to the cinema. They want to go to the cinema. So if you have to go twice, you're going to choose those films you want to go to. So even if I want to go and see a Lapata Ladies, maybe I can't afford to. The thing is that we need to, it needs to be all over the place. Everybody needs to settle.
They tell you that they did a research when they went to like 100 homes. And I read this article, I'm not sure what the reference point of research, and the 100 homes where out of 100 homes, 90 of those 100 homes said that we will watch 2 films a year. And this is of the income group that is a massive part of our audience base. And they said...
why?
Because they said we can't afford it.
That's what I'm saying.
They said we can't afford. They said we are choosing 2 films, so they'll maybe come out in Diwali, or they'll maybe, if they hear a lot about another film
Because
like
the
3,
food
and then they'll go and watch it.
The buzz.
It's crazy.
And then there were the family members that said that we don't like to go to a cinema hall with our family.
This is like literally my video, which is on the main channel, coming soon, guys. I hope by the time this comes out, I post it. I need to post it quickly. Like literally, I actually broke down how much it cost as a family to go watch a film. And it's literally like you cannot do that often. It's high.
Because when our kids say that they want popcorn or they want to eat, we feel bad to deny it to them. So we'd rather not go there. We'd rather go to a restaurant where we're not paying for the ticket, we're just paying for the food. Because you know what that costs you. So they'll choose a restaurant. So it's like they were saying these things,
heartbreaking.
and it is.
Yeah.
They were like, "Was our child will point? Okay, I want popcorn. I want caramel popcorn. I want this Frankie or hot dog or burger," and they say we can't afford it because the average cost with a family of mother, father, say 2 children, you can be 10,000 rupees, and maybe that 10,000 rupees is not in their economic planning at all. And that's what's happening, and that's really what she's saying is absolutely right.
Shift because
And this is
people
happening a
want
lot
to
in
go to
Hindi
the
cinema.
Yeah. But tell me,
Tickets down south are, they're capped. They cannot go very high. I think that helps a lot.
speaking of stars, one thing that fascinates me is that both of you make such tough movies, right? You're not interested in making films that are comforting. You're making films that are
That's honor to say it.
deliberately disturbing. And yet the two of you work with the biggest stars, right? You've made 2 films with Rajni sir. Your latest, Thangalan, has the most incredible performance by Vikram. You have such a long collaboration with Dhanush. How does this work? And I want you guys to also talk about why is it so much harder in Hindi cinema to get actors to commit to tougher material, because you guys are doing it. How?
Interesting
I
question.
never thought I want to work with big stars. That is my problem.
That was never a beginning for you.
That's
That's
why
good.
I begin with a small film. So I wanted to convey my thoughts, to connect with my.
One of my favorite films of his is Sarpatta, which is like no big star, nothing. If I think it was my first film with Arya, and I absolutely enjoyed that film.
Audience. So I have a concern about my politics. So I want to tell my story without any compromise. So that is why I started Atakati. But after Atakati, I got a recognition from audience and producers. Also,
I have not
producers
seen that
wants to
film.
work with me, and producers demand wants to do something like a hero material film. After I signed, I've been writing, but I couldn't connect with that hero material stories, and it's too hard after Atakati. So I wrote one story before that before Atakati, that is called Madras. So that movie, it's based on like a wall, and it's a character-oriented movie. So
I've seen
the
that.
production
I think I had some issues with it. It didn't fully work with me.
house, no, they liked that movie and they wanted to. And Karthi also, he read and he liked that movie. He wants to collaborate with me, and that is a good thing. That is why I connect with the big hero first time, and he loved that script. He wants to enter that he wanted to do that character, and I slowly understand how handle hero. And I had some and while I'm shooting, I had a lot of troubles in my mind, and usually hero shooting, it's happening in different way. But I'm shooting different way. I'm doing in my own style. I didn't follow anything, and some of the production people came and discussed with me, what are you doing? You're handling hero. He's not like one kind of artist. You should take care of him and you should think about him. I'm really worried about myself. So after that, I recollecting what I doing, and okay, this is what they want. This is what they're expecting. Okay, I did some rework, and I'll enter the shoot again, and I'll do some gimmicks. But that movie went well, and they loved, and people are enjoyed, and also I dealt very important political thoughts, and after movie got released, it's a massive response, and massive discussion happened that, and after the Facebook are burning, they'll wrote a lot of things, and a lot of discussion happened.
I think I've noticed, politics is a big part of Tamil cinema. Like, of course, other films also, not the Hindi. They don't want to get into it in mainstream, definitely. I think in Tamil, they are like, people are open to, having some politics in the film. I think they are very strong in that nature. politics is a big part, and they want that to see it in the films they watch.
That time I only realized, no, when he comes hero, no, it will make a big sense.
That's
and
right.
like, yeah.
You make a bigger impact.
Yeah. So I learned from that Madras only. After that, I didn't recognize, no, Rajini sir called me and meet me. That is a sweet thing happened in my life. And what I thought that day, no, I don't want to work with them. Like, I don't have anything. I cannot deal in like a big heroes, like a star, no, he's a superstar. I never thought like that. And I'm not a first FDFC, no, I'm not the fan like that. I just go and watch alone and like, I don't want to sing a movie, no, big with around big people, like a lot of people. So I'm very like alone, no. So when he called me and I met him through his daughter, no, she is one of my close friend, and I don't have a story. But what I thought, I gave some opportunity. So he gave some opportunity, so I don't want to miss. And I just threw my story. He liked. Why he liked? No, it's not a stereotype. It's a different. And he said, you wrote about like, I'm a older man. Yes, that is why I liked. And there is no song, there is no things, and that is why I liked. He liked very much that story. But fans, no, I expecting something from us.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I learned a lot. So, so that is why I never.
But I have to say, Kala, I still remember. I was so shocked with that climax. I was like, how did they pull this off? With such a big star, like it was great.
Dreamed with work with the big heroes, but the big heroes, it will come in that script and they wanted to work with me. We need to think about him and what people expecting from us, and what my biggest problem, no. I'll trying to write to make a good hero, but my thought, no, my philosophy sometimes interlude and like my philosophy taking over, like
the heroism.
Yeah. Yes. That is my biggest problem. In Kala, what happened? No, after Kala wife's killed, no, he went that Nana Patekar house. And people, what they thought, what they think, what they expecting, he went and go and hit him and he'll try to kill. But what I draw, no, he went that place and he tried to talk, convince to him, and like no, especially what I thought, two philosophical things, no. So it's hierarchy and like against hierarchy. So two thoughts and talk and fight. Like I made like
conflict.
It's kind of, but people are expecting he wants to kill, he wants to fight, and like after that only I realized.
but guys, why is it harder? Like imagine a actor of Rajni sir's level reaching out and saying, let's make a thorny film. Let's make a film that's
we are the least experimental mainstream cinema in the country.
Yeah.
We have to say this.
But Q.
It is the way it is. I mean, there are so many filmmakers who want to tell their stories, but the mega movie stars of Hindi cinema will not experiment afterward. They will say all kinds of things. We want to do new characters. We want to tell new stories. We want to make different kinds of films.
He's every time exposing people, and then he'll only do the same.
The proof lies in the pudding. Look.
It's also the audience. But because
also, but haven't they evolved?
No.
Like, don't you think they have evolved?
But you're not
we have evolved to a point. We have to, because I think it's not gone.
I think feedback loop, right? The more you put out, like you put out experimental film, then we'll know if it's working or not, right? Without doing it, you're thinking audience will not like it. Like you have to prove it yet again. Like it was the last, maybe like I think Shah Rukh tried with Fan, but I think Fan Zero also interesting concept. People are actually looking forward to them, but the story was like they just took it somewhere else and it was not convincing. The story was a problem, not the the experiment they were trying to do.
Well, so people have gotten scared. Having said that, I feel like someone like Mr. Nasiruddin Shah or somebody like Mr. Bachchan even, I think that they would do a thorny subject. They have and they would. Because they are interested in parts and they are interested.
I think they have also they're past stardom. Like I think Amitabh Bachchan is not choosing roles or what my fans want. And like nah, he's just doing what he likes and good scripts he's getting. I think the stars like the stars, Shah Rukh, Salman, all those that level they are doing. They have to maintain a stardom kind of films they have to do and all of that.
And I know that they would like a Mr.
And I think Amir. I think Amir definitely is the one who kind of, there was a sea change with the film. See, when Amir did Lagan in 2001, Lagan was I think one of those movies that will go down in cinema history. It is that film.
Yeah.
In that same year, there was Gaddar, and there was Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum and Dil Chahta Hai. So that year was very iconic for Hindi cinema. There was Chandni Bar as well. But the business was Gaddar. You see, so the massive mainstream business was Gaddar was the biggest hit that year. Lagan won a nomination at the Academy Award. So then Amir still did. He did Tare Zameen Par and he did Rang De Basanti and he did Dil Chahta in the same year and he changed the texture. He also did Gajni, which actually brought back that culture of remake even in Hindi cinema. He actually has I think he's a real game changer.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about him is that even when he deviates, he understands that he's gone wrong. He goes back. Like again, he's making Sitare Zameen Par, which is now perceived as his comeback film, which he's not gone anywhere. He's still here. But other actors, the big mega stars, there is like Zoya said, they have tried. It's not that Shah Rukh didn't try. Shah Rukh did a Paheli. He did an Ashoka. Shah Rukh comes from the mindset to do different things. He wanted to make a difference. When he started, he worked with Kundan Shah and he worked with Aziz Mirza and Manikol. He did Idiot with Manikol. I mean, he never wanted to play the mainstream guy, but it so happened that Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge happened to him. And then all of us made love stories with him. He wanted to be that quirky mainstream star that changed the way of cinema. Now no one will allow it. Now, when you see Shah Rukh Khan, the name comes with an expectation like Ranjith was talking about what an audience expects. Today, Shah Rukh plays a mellow character without the stardom. Of course, he will eventually, and he will, I hope he does, because he's such a terrific artist himself. But there is an expectation that comes with him, that will not allow a certain kind of film to be made, which is sad because he's an actor first and a star after that. He began in theatre. He is a terrific actor. Now there is
I wish someone on this table actually worked with him, apart from Karan, who has already done it.
Shah Rukh Khan expectation. But it's not just him, it's the other more mainstream stars. None of them are experiment.
What about the younger people?
The women
They're not.
The women are. Absolutely.
I have to say,
the
actresses are really looking to do roles. They're really doing parts, and they actually have all started producing because if they're not getting the parts, they're going to make it happen. So
That's good.
the
Which is
women
terrific.
are way cooler.
Yeah.
The younger generation are not. They are so worried that they'll fail. They're so scared of failure because they feel like they're so scared of falling flat on their face, but they don't know that the only way you can succeed is if you're not fearing failure.
So the younger generation artists, they want to become a big star. No, that's why
they don't want to experiment.
do experiment.
So they want
They don't want to be an actor. They want to be a star. That's where the problem lies.
40 crores and they won't experiment.
Yes.
No, 40 crore and experiment won't tally.
They want the money, they don't want to experiment, they want the stardom, they want it all, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Let me tell you, Shah Rukh and Amir are massive movie stars because they took massive risks as well.
They did.
They played different playing fields. I mean, they all did. That's why they are stars. Mr. Bachchan, Mr. Bachchan's done all kinds of stuff.
I honestly think he still will.
Of course he will. Of course he will.
Who he? Shah Rukh?
Mr. Bachchan.
Mr. Bachchan.
Of course he will.
And he's open to working with any kid on the block if they have an interesting story to tell.
I mean, I think, to me, it was the most, and we have to take a beat just to talk about Mr. Bachchan in Kalki, and the fact that, at 82, he commands the narrative of that film, and I saw people whistling and clapping for him.
Yes.
I had goose flesh, just being somebody we've grown up in front of him and seen the aura and majesticness of Amitabh Bachchan.
I think everywhere I've heard this, that people loved Amitabh Bachchan in that film. And at this age to do a role and that action and and still have that and people are enjoying you.
To see today, it gives so much hope to all of us who feel there comes a time where you're I'm exhausted, I'm not doing it anymore. At 82, he's fighting. He's fighting, he's hitting, he's owning that film.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
Yeah.
There's also one more thing that I want to say when talking about actors here. So they also want to collaborate with directors who make different kind of films.
Yes.
But they pick up different kind of, directors who make different kind of films to make their kind of films. Whereas Rajinikanth, when he calls Ranjith, Rajinikanth wants to be part of a Ranjith film.
That's true.
Not,
How lovely.
Not
How lovely is
Rajinikanth
that?
wanting Ranjith to make a film for him.
Yeah, sure.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's amazing.
With whatever whomever I've met here, that's what I've understood. They are, they don't
Here I mean he's saying Mumbai.
really. They want the talent, not the narrative.
I want Vetri Maaran to make a film for me. I chased and he just fell off the bed. I was like, I want him to make his movie. I didn't want to make him to make it. I was like, I really chased him. I have to say
Okay, if this happens, can I take credit for
Yeah,
it?
sometimes. Yes. I really chased him and I was like, what happened? Where did he go? Like, he ran away from me. It's like, did I have a bad meeting with you?
We had a great
Yeah, I know.
And I just told him that I'm still. It's based on a novel, Finnish novel. So I'm still holding back the rights.
I think this is our official platform to make our announcement.
Yes.
I think,
Very interesting if it
Tamil
happens.
and Malayalam, we have a great artist and a big artist who wants to do something.
Senior actors, senior actors like Rajinikanth.
We have to talk about Mammootty here. It's time.
It's,
I mean, look at what Mammootty sir
Yep.
did.
There it is. On cue.
Stunning.
I mean, when he did Kathal, I mean,
He produced it.
it was, I mean, how groundbreaking was that?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing.
And
And Brahma Yuga.
See, even Brahma Yuga.
Ramayuga, oh my God.
Thing is, you never feel like the problem with
All of us are living in Mammootty's world.
stars, it always comes with a baggage, right? You have to collect this much. It has to be a massive film. There, Mammootty, what he's trying to do is that he doesn't care about all these things. Okay, if it's a 40-day film, it's a 40-day film. I'm doing it. Okay, it's a small role. Okay, I'm doing it. Like it's about how well the role is written for him.
Yeah.
Like how new he has to do. He has done everything. Like for police, like any story you go to Mr. Bachchan, like he has done everything, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So what is new? What is new in that? So that kind of an exploration.
That's what, right? They've reached that age and they have thought so much like, now I want to do something new. I'm not going to do anything, the same thing over and over just to make more money. Who cares about that? I want to do something new. That's more, enjoy. I want to use this time I have, instead of just waste it, just doing the same thing to make money. Like, wow. No.
from an actor, from a senior actor. That is where, where he's trying
And also, they are inspirations to look up to for young actors. Only when there is precedence, they are like inspired. Okay, I want to be like that. I want to do
also
something.
very important thing is there is no insecurity.
Yes.
There is no insecurity in that. I believe in my cinema. I live here.
Also he's producing all those.
He's producing those.
That's the beauty.
Including Lijo's film.
Yeah.
He was a producer on that. And that again did not fit into any mold of anything.
Correct.
Ranjith, one of the things that amazes me about you is that you have not just set up a production house. You've created a sort of a parallel universe, right? You've enabled, of course, features, but also short films and books and journalism and a music scene and film festivals and a library. One of the films that you produced was, of course, Mari Selvaraj's Periyaram, which now you are remaking as Dhadak 2.
Yes. What a fantastic film. I saw it in the pandemic and I was blown. My apologies, we're remaking it. But it's a film that was just wholesome on its own. It was
You should apologize.
really
Don't
fantastic.
screw it
But
up.
I'm proud
Don't
to
ruin
kind
it
of
up.
tell that story in Hindi.
Don't screw
and
it
I
up.
do hope we justify the film's brilliance.
But
It's really
tell me
fantastic.
this, Karan, given all that we've discussed, right, and it is a really tough film. There are moments in that movie that
are hard.
That are really hard, right? And Shazia Iqbal, who's directing Dhadak 2, I loved Bebak. It's such a wonderful shot that she's made. But when you're taking this and translating...
This is so good. Like, she has got them both there on the table and now she can actually ask the question we all want to ask, like, how do you remake? Like, why?
For a Hindi audience, are you diluting? Because Sairat did get diluted.
Yes.
So let's wrap up part 2 here. Part 3 will be right here whenever it's available. You can become a member to support the channel and I will see you next time.